Today, I'm going to be showing you how you can build a voice agent that can make phone calls for you while you sleep. Now, we're going to be using n8n for the automation logic, and then we're going to be using Vapi to actually build out the voice agent. And as always, I'll be giving everything away for free in my free school community that you can join from the description below. So you'll get the n8n workflow, all the Vapi prompts, and then the Airtable database as well, completely for free. So jump over to my free school community and you can have access to all of that, so you can follow along and get this set up as well. Now, the idea of this voice agent is to qualify leads that sign a form or a work with us form from your website. So if you don't have a website or you don't have a form, that's completely fine. I'll show you how you can set this up today inside of a platform called YouForm. So essentially what's going to happen is someone will visit your website or visit your form. They will fill in the form, submit the form, and then this outbound call agent will give them a call and pre-qualify them and make sure they're the right fit for your business. And then you can then have some more information on what they actually need. So when you later go on to book a discovery call in or some sort of follow-up call, you'll have a list of information. So you're not going into the call blind, essentially. So this is the n8n workflow that we're going to be setting up today for our outbound lead qualifying voice agent. Essentially how it works is we have a webhook which is getting fired every time someone submits that form. Then we're adding that lead to our Airtable database, so we're storing all of our lead information there. We've then got a wait node where we're just waiting a few seconds, and then we're actually going to be calling the Vapi API to make that call for us using all of the information that we've got from our lead, so email, name, interests, and all of that stuff. Then what we're doing is we're just checking if the call is still going or if the call is finished. And then we're just going to basically just update Airtable depending on what's happened. So if the call's gone to voicemail, then our Airtable database will be updated with voicemail. If our call has finished, then we will update our Airtable database with the call transcript, and then also update the lead status to active. Now, there are tons and tons of use cases for voice AI, for outbound voice AI. Could be an outbound appointment setter, which I've covered on this channel before. But yeah, there's endless options there. But for this example and in today's video, it's just going to be a lead qualifying voice agent. So what I mean by this is we're trying to gather as much information as possible from the lead before we then go on and book a discovery call in. Basically just to make sure they're the right fit for our business. Now, what I'll do is I'll quickly run through the Airtable database. Okay, so we're inside of the Airtable database here now, and essentially what we're using Airtable for in this workflow is storing the information on our new leads, storing the call transcripts, the questions that they answer from our form, all that information, so that when we follow up and book further calls in with them, we have information that our outbound voice agent has gathered for us, making it easier for us to basically know what they want and sell them the right thing. But yeah, you can see we've got the email field, first name, last name, phone number, lead status, question 1, 2, and 3 from our form, our call status, and then in the active tab, we have email, first name, last name, phone number, lead status, and then the summary of our call. So pretty simple Airtable database here. But yeah, let's move on to the form. Before I actually go ahead and show you an example of this AI agent or voice agent running, I just want to explain a little bit or talk to you a little bit about YouForm, which is the form builder, form platform that we're going to be using to actually build out our form and host our form. So essentially what it is just a copy and paste of Typeform. Now, I know Typeform can get quite expensive, so I found this free alternative. It's really, really easy to get started. The form that we're going to be using is this Work With Us form. What I'll do is I'll leave a link to the form in my free school community, so you can just copy that form word for word if you want to. But if you want to create a brand new form, all you need to do is make an account, click on this new form button in the top right hand corner, and then you can either start from blank, pick from 500 templates, pre-built templates that they have, import straight from Typeform, or import straight from Google Forms. So they make it really easy to get started, which is really, really nice. But I'll show you what this form looks like. I'm using an example of an AI agency. So this is a form that I would have for my agency. So I'm going to go ahead, fill this in, and then we'll actually test this out. Cool, so I've submitted the form now. So in a second, I'll be getting a phone call, and then I'll show you and run through what this voice agent will be going through with me. But before that happens, let me just show you the Airtable database. So all the information that I've just submitted from the form has just popped up within the Airtable database. You can see that first name, last name, email, phone number, lead status, the questions that I filled in from the form. So question 1, question 2, question 3. You can add as many different questions to your form as you want. All you need to do is just come to Airtable and add a new field here. The call status is cool, and then the created time as well. But let me just go ahead and fill this in again, and then I'll run through what the voice setup in Vapi is looking like. Cool, so when I hit the submit button, the workflow will trigger and we'll get a call from our AI voice agent. Hello.
Hey, this is Elliot, an AI agent calling from Falco AI. Is this Marcus?
Yes, this is Marcus.
Thanks, Marcus, for confirming. Thanks for filling out the form. I was just going over it, and I have some questions to see if you would be a good fit.
Okay.
Great. First off, I see you're interested in automation services. Could you tell me a bit about what specific assistance you're looking for?
Yeah, I just want to learn a little bit more about AI automation.
Got it. What prompted your interest in exploring AI automation now? Is there a specific challenge or goal you're aiming to address?
No, I actually just stumbled upon it on a YouTube video and it sparked my interest, and I want to learn a little bit more.
Understood, Marcus. Since you're in the exploratory phase, do you have a specific time frame in mind for diving deeper into AI automation?
Yeah, as soon as possible, really.
That's good to know. Have you had any past experience with automation or AI? Or would this be your first exposure to such solutions?
First exposure.
Thanks for sharing that. Lastly, just to set expectations, typically we start with a free 30-minute discovery call if it's a good fit. After that, any further consulting and scoping sessions are paid services. Are you open to that?
Yeah, definitely.
Great, Marcus. Thanks for all the information. A team member will follow up with you if it's a good fit. I appreciate your time today. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
So that was an example of the voice agent. Sorry, my camera went. It was purely because I'm actually using my phone camera to record this video, and when the call came in, I had to pause the camera to actually answer the call. But that's just a quick run through of what the agent sounds like, so you can see or hear that it basically just asked me more questions trying to get as much information out of me as possible, so that when later on down the line I am doing a discovery call, I know more information about the lead, what their intent is, if they actually are interested in buying a solution or coaching or whatever you offer, you'll have that information ready to go. Okay, so we're back inside of Airtable here, and under the active leads tab, you can see that we have the new active lead being myself, and we have a call summary as well. So let's check that out. Marcus has confirmed his interest in learning more about AI automation after being inspired by a YouTube video. But yeah, you get the idea. Essentially, the idea of this outbound lead qualification agent is just to get as much information as possible out of the lead before we continue with anything else, so that I'm or you're more prepared when going into a discovery call. But yeah, let's actually go ahead with the setup now. First off, we want to get our form set up. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I'll leave a link to my form in my free school community, so you can just copy that if you want to. But if you want to create your own form, please feel free to just come over to YouForm, create your form. Once you've got your form created, you want to click on the build section and then click on integrate up here in this top row. And then you can see this webhook section here. Now, all you need to do is just go to n8n, grab your production URL. What I'll do is I'll just delete this so I can show you what's actually happening here. Come back, delete this, paste that in there, click submit, and then our form has been connected to that webhook. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill out this form again, and I'll show you when that bit of data actually comes in. Okay, so I'm just going to run through this form really quickly. And then we'll hit submit. And then we'll go back to n8n and we'll see that webhook that has been triggered, and we'll see all the information so we can then map it correctly within our Airtable database. So you can see that our webhook has been triggered here. So let's copy that to our editor. And then here on the right hand side, you can see all of the information that I filled in under the body. So that's where our questions are. So question 1, question 2, question 3, and then the last question, which was the fill out information question. So we have my name, my last name, email, phone number, all there ready to go. Now, once you've done that, all you need to do is just connect this back up to Airtable. Make sure that you've got your Airtable base connected. And then all we need to do is basically just map in these fields. I'll do that with you now just to show you an example. Let's get rid of these ones. So what we would do is we would come down to here and we would find the email, drag and drop that there, first name, last name, phone number, and then our questions and answers here. So question 1, question 2, and question 3. Now, leave call status and lead status as they are. And then when we come back to Airtable, we can see that information there that's been submitted. So that's just storing our data of our leads inside of there, so we can keep track of it all. We can see what their answers are to each question, the call status, and we can see that they're a new lead. Now, that's that first bit set up, the form and the connection to n8n and Airtable. Then from there, we've got a wait node. We're just waiting 5 seconds for the next node, which is actually where we're going to be calling via the Vapi API call here. So what is going on here is basically we're just passing in the variables that we set. So the name, the email, the interest, which is question 2 from forms, and then the notes, which is question 3 from the form as well. Then we have a phone number ID and our assistant ID, which we will grab from Vapi now. So let's head over to Vapi and we'll get the Vapi connection set up as well as our voice agent set up. So I'm inside of Vapi. Now, if you haven't got a Vapi account, go ahead and create a free account. You'll get some free credits or some free time. So you can see I've got some free credits down there. Now, you want to create an assistant. Now, how I've got this assistant set up is actually really, really simple. I'll go through the prompt with you in a second, but we're not using any tools or anything like that for this voice agent. It's actually really simple. We're just literally asking the lead for more details about their interest and what they want to achieve. So let's go through this now. The first message mode, I'm awaiting the user to speak first. So the assistant won't speak first. I'll wait for the lead or the person on the other end to be like, hello, who's this, or whatever. And then the system prompt, which again, I'll leave in my free school community, so you can just copy and paste it if you want. But I've set this up for my own agency, but you can obviously change this out for yourself. But really simple, didn't take me too long to do this. We've got the identity section, so you are Elliot, an outbound lead qualification voice agent for Falco AI, a B2B service business specializing in automation and AI solutions. Your role is to qualify leads by engaging in meaningful interactions with potential clients, gathering essential information and routing them appropriately. The style, we're just saying use a friendly, calm and professional tone. Response guidelines, keep responses concise. Do not advance in conversation until you've gathered sufficient information. We are then passing in the variables. So like you saw in the actual HTTP request or the Vapi API call in n8n, we've got the name, email, interest, and notes. So that when our voice agent is making the call, they have that information already. Then tasks and goals. So opening, start calls with, hi, this is Elliot, an AI agent calling from Falco AI. Is this name? If they say no, or it's the wrong number, then apologize and end the call. If it's not a suitable time, ask when you might call back and end the call politely. Core goals of the call: assess their interest in exploring a solution, understand the urgency and requested time frame, gauge past experience, and determine if a budget exists. So that's what we're trying to find out. That's the goal of this outbound call here. Now we've just got a couple other things: conversation flow and required topics, ending the call, error handling, and then behavior rules as well. But as you can see, a really simple prompt. If or when you're creating a voice agent for yourself or for a client, then I'd recommend going into a bit more detail than this, but just for the purpose of this video, this is what I come up with. But yeah, when you're building out this for yourself, I'd recommend going through, testing it, and basically just adjusting it as you go with updates. Now, after that, there isn't much else going into this assistant voice configuration. We're using a Vapi voice called Elliot. We haven't really got any additional configuration because we're not using any tools or anything, like I mentioned earlier. So we're adding in a function here which allows the agent or the assistant to actually end the call. No custom functions, structured outputs. This has basically replaced the summary or the success evaluation. Basically, we're just asking it for the call summary. So like you saw in Airtable earlier, we're updating the call summary field with the call summary after the call. But you can add in as many different structured outputs as you want. So success evaluation, appointment booked, appointment cancelled, booking status, appointment date. Yeah, you can come in here and view these and add them as you wish. But then other than that, like, there's not a lot else really going on here. It's, like I mentioned, quite a easy voice agent to set up and get started with. And that was the goal for when I actually made this. But I'll leave the prompt in the description or in my free school community, so you can come in here and copy it for yourself. Now, once you've got your voice agent completed, you want to come up to copy assistant ID, copy that assistant ID, come back to this HTTP request, come down and paste in your assistant ID into this section here. When you download this n8n template, it will be empty like this. So just come in between the quotes and just paste in your assistant ID there. Same again for the phone number. Now you can get a free phone number from Twilio or from Vapi, whatever you choose. Create your phone number, copy the phone number ID, come back to the workflow, come down and just copy and paste in your phone number ID into that field there. Then we actually want to create the connection between n8n and Vapi. Really easy to do. Come back to Vapi, click on API keys here, copy and paste your private key, come back to n8n, create a new credential. So we're going to be creating a bearer auth credential instead of the header auth one that we usually do. The only difference is that when we create a bearer credential, I'll show you now. Let me just create a new credential. Instead of typing bearer like this and then space and then pasting our API key in here, that is already filled out for you. So all you need to do is copy and paste your private key and just paste it straight into here and then hit save, and then your connection between Vapi and n8n has been created. Now, once you've done that, you're pretty much good to go to test this out. What I'd recommend doing is clicking on these Airtable modules and just making sure you're connected to the right base. So these here, these here, these here, and then also this HTTP request. Make sure that you've connected your Vapi connection that we've just set up to this one as well. What this node is doing is it's just finding out if our call has actually been completed. So if our call has been completed, then the status will be ended and it will go to this next if module, which will then decide whether it's gone to voicemail and ended that way, or the call's actually been completed, and then it will route it down this path and update accordingly. But if the call is still ongoing, then it's just going to loop round and do that over and over again until the call has been completed. But once you've got all that connected up, you're pretty much ready to go. So remember, form, complete your form on YouForm, hook that webhook connection up from your n8n production URL here. Just copy and paste that into the webhook section within YouForm. So I'll show you again here. If we click on build, click on integrate, click here and just copy and paste that production webhook URL into here. Then create your Vapi voice agent, hook up the assistant ID and the phone number ID, and then also your Vapi API key, just like we did a second ago, and make sure everything else is connected up. All you need to do is just double click on these nodes, And that is pretty much it. Your voice agent is then ready to go ahead and test. But yeah, that's all from me today. Thank you very much for viewing this video. I hope that you'll find this voice agent useful. Again, you can download everything, the n8n workflow, the Airtable database, a copy of my YouForm form, and then all the Vapi prompts from my free school community in the description below. But thank you very much for viewing this video. Hit the subscribe button, got loads of cool videos coming, and I will see you all soon.